The Indian Subcontinent. A land so vast, diverse and complicated that even history books struggle to summarize it without sounding like a Bollywood plot twist. Once home to ancient civilizations, great empires, colonial rule, and oh yes, some of the most chaotic partition stories in modern history. But what was the subcontinent really? Was it ever one entity? And what if history had taken a different turn? Let's find out. Before modern-day passports, barbed wire fences, and questionable diplomatic relations, the Indian subcontinent was a gigantic landmass that included what we now call India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, Nepal, Bhutan, and the Maldives. Oh, and let's not forget Afghanistan and Myanmar, which were historically connected through British influence, but were not core parts of the subcontinent itself. So, was it always one happy united family? Absolutely not. The subcontinent was a melting pot of cultures, languages, and rulers who were either expanding empires, fighting over territories, or figuring out new ways to tax the locals. Let's rewind a few thousand years. The Indus Valley Civilization, 2600 to 1900 BCE, was one of the world's earliest urban centers, boasting sophisticated drainage systems that would put modern infrastructure to shame. Then came the mighty Maurya Empire, 321 to 185 BCE, which unified large parts of the region under Ashoka, a king who literally conquered so much that he had a change of heart and converted to Buddhism. Fast forward a bit, and you had the Gupta Empire, the Delhi Sultanate, and the ever-dramatic Mughal Empire. The Mughals, of course, gave us grand architecture, an imperial court full of betrayals, and food so good that it still fuels identity crises in certain nationalist circles. Enter the British. Like an uninvited guest who overstays their welcome, they arrived under the pretext of trade in the 1600s, only to colonize the entire subcontinent by the mid-19th century. The British Raj, 1858 to 1947, turned the subcontinent into a single administrative unit, efficient for them, inconvenient for everyone else. They built railways, introduced English, and systematically drained the economy. But hey, at least they gave us cricket, right? Then came 1947 independence, partition, and what can only be described as the world's worst last-minute breakup. The subcontinent was divided into India and Pakistan, with Pakistan itself later splitting into Bangladesh in 1971. The division was done in such a rush that Cyril Radcliffe, the man who drew the borders, had never even been to India before. Imagine dividing a continent based on a 5-week crash course. Naturally, chaos ensued, with millions displaced and nearly 1 million people killed in one of the largest human migrations in history. So how are these nations doing today? Let's check in. 1. India. An economic powerhouse, growing tech hub, but also dealing with internal political and religious tensions. 2. Pakistan. A nuclear-armed state with immense cultural influence, but also facing economic instability and political turbulence. 3. Bangladesh. One of the fastest-growing economies in the region, despite governance challenges. 4. Sri Lanka. A tourism paradise, but suffering from economic mismanagement and a recent financial crisis. 5. Nepal and Bhutan. Small but thriving. Bhutan, in particular, is more concerned with gross national happiness than GDP. 6. Maldives. A luxury holiday hotspot, but climate change might turn it into Atlantis in the next few decades. 7. Afghanistan, and Myanmar. Let's just say they're still dealing with issues, ongoing conflicts, political instability, and the occasional military coup. Now let's indulge in some alternate history. What if things had gone differently? Scenario 1. No partition. Imagine a world where India, Pakistan, and Bangladesh were still one country, a global superpower, or an ungovernable circus with daily parliamentary brawls. You decide. Oh, and let's not forget our cricket team would probably be undefeated forever. Good luck to any team trying to beat a lineup featuring Kohli and Babar Azam in the same side. Scenario 2. A South Asian Union. What if we had a South Asian version of the European Union? Free trade, open borders, and probably a cricket tournament so intense it would cause diplomatic incidents. Scenario 3. No British colonization. If the British had never set foot here, would we have been a united empire? Or would we still have 57 different warring kingdoms? Either way, one thing's for sure, the subcontinent once had the highest GDP in the world before colonialism, nearly 25% of global GDP in 1700. Maybe today it wouldn't be South Asian leaders queuing up to meet the US president. Perhaps it would be the other way around. Superpower dynamics would look very, very different. So there you have it. The history of the Indian subcontinent, a land of ancient civilizations, colonial rule, messy partitions, and nations still figuring out their place in the world. But history is just one version of events. What do you think? If things had gone differently, would we be better off? Or was this division inevitable? Let us know your thoughts. And as always, we hope you enjoyed this narration. Let us know what other historical topics you'd like us to cover next.